Good morning. Hello, everybody. If you could please take your seats, we're going to get the show started. We have a fabulous opening general session for you. And to get things started off, welcome to the 102nd AAP's annual meeting. As tradition, we always start off with our president's address. And to introduce Dr. Aldridge is Dr. Vince Iacono.
Thank you, Jean. Good morning, distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues. It is a pleasure and honor for me to introduce our AAP President, Wayne Aldridge, at the 102nd annual meeting in beautiful San Diego. Wayne was my postdoctoral student and now is a colleague, and with his lovely wife, Suzanne, and wonderful sons, Parker and Kana, members of my family. Wayne has had an awesome year as president with initiatives in dental implantology, development of a more relevant academy vision and mission, elucidation of its core values, implementation of strategic budgetary restraint, initiation of broad professional outreach, creation of novel goals for private practice and dental education enhancements, the identification of a new executive director, and most recently, becoming a spokesperson for dental floss. So starting with dental implantology to dental floss, what an interesting connection. But I digress. To understand Wayne's character is to read his edited letter of application to Stony Brook's Advanced Specialty Education Program in Periodontics in 1995. Dear Dr. Iacono, here goes. My immediate goal is to gain admission into your well-rounded periodontal residency program, one that is fundamentally sound in instruction in the pathogenesis of the periodontal diseases, yet extremely strong in the full scope of clinical periodontics and dental implants. If accepted, I would like to construct a protocol for the treatment of periimplantitis and perform research toward the goal. Now, this was in 1995 when we're talking about placing implants, let alone treating periimplantitis. So it was very perceptive, given that the Academy will be hosting a conference on classification of periodontal and periimplant diseases in 2017. And then to continue, upon completion of my residency, I would set up a private practice, strive to become board certified, become active in the AAP, and continue my academic affiliation with Stony Brook. Importantly, I intend to be a strong contributor to the Stony Brook Periodontal Alumni Association. Right. To be able to impart some of my success through the years to a future generation of periodontal students. I'm still waiting for these annual checks. But in short, and to conclude, to paraphrase some of Wayne's military superior officers at West Point when he was there, and some of my own. In short, this is what I consider Wayne. Wayne is clinically superb, academically gifted, professionally driven, a lifelong community volunteer, a generous donor, and is with initiative and integrity rarely seen. Wayne, please, the stage is yours.
How do you follow that up? Wow. Thank you, Vince. Welcome, friends, colleagues, and distinguished guests, to the 102nd annual meeting of the American Academy of Periodontology. Before we begin, I would like to pause to acknowledge the anniversary of one of our nation's darkest hours. Each of us can remember where we were and what we were doing on this day 15 years ago. when attacks in New York City, Washington, D.C., and in the skies above Shanksville, Pennsylvania, culminated in unspeakable tragedy. It is no small thing that we have traveled thousands of miles to convene here in San Diego. And when we conclude our days-long event, we will be blessed to return home to the people we love and to the work for which we are passionate. On September 11th, 2001, 2,996 men, women, and children, including 343 firefighters and 71 law enforcement officials and paramedics, were robbed of that freedom. Before we continue, I want us to pay tribute to the lives lost a decade and a half ago, and to honor those who have fought so valiantly to protect our country's freedom before then and ever since. This includes the esteemed service members of our Academy's own District 8, who are seated to my right. Thank you. Today and always, we must remember that no terror can extinguish the eternal light of the human spirit, a beacon of love, justice, and peace that illuminates the whole world. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Wow. On behalf of the Academy's leadership and staff, I am pleased to welcome you to San Diego for 4 days of learning, insight, and camaraderie. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge some special guests whose collaboration has made this event noteworthy. Will the members and leadership from both the Japanese Academy of Clinical Periodontology and the Japanese Society of Periodontology please stand to be recognized? Thank you. I had the chance to visit these organizations in Japan this summer, and they welcomed me with open arms. These groups are doing wonderful work for periodontics, and I am excited that we continue to work together in friendship and shared purpose. On behalf of the AAP, I would like to express gratitude to the JACP and the JSP for your continued support, cooperation, and partnership in making this meeting a success. To you, I say, konnichiwa, irasai. I'm from New Jersey. That's the best I could do. Thank you. In addition to our colleagues from across the Pacific, I'd also like to thank Sunstar for their generous sponsorship of this morning's opening session. Sunstar is among the Academy's 4 signature diamond sponsors, organizations that have invested more than $1 million, and in some cases $2 million, into the Academy's programmatic initiatives. One example of this is some hot off the press breaking news. Sunstar has just officially signed on to present a 3-year, $250,000 Sunstar Innovation Grant to back AAP member research on novel treatment approaches that will enhance patient care. Thank you, Sunstar. Additionally, our other signature diamond sponsors are committed to backing key initiatives that will shape the Academy in the near future. This includes a $100,000 support from Colgate for the 2017 World Workshop on Periodontal and Peri-implant Disease Classification, Nobel Biocare's investment in the Academy's leadership development, and Straumann's 3-year pledge to provide scholarships that allow students to attend our annual meeting. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and a special thank you to the signature sponsors for your investment in our Academy and in the future of our specialty. When I think about the future of periodontics, I realize that it is right here, right before my eyes. All of you who sit in this room today, those of you who have traveled many miles and many hours to join us this week, are what make our academy special. We will ascend to higher heights with each patient we treat, each colleague we mentor, and in every moment we share our knowledge with one another. It is because of our daily commitment to excellence that our academy is stronger than ever. Thank you for your membership and for sharing your gifts with us. The end of my presidential year coincides with a personal milestone. I celebrated my 50th birthday last month. As it tends to happen for many of us around big birthdays, I have spent a lot of time reflecting on my journey and on those who have championed me along the way. I would be unable to fulfill my commitments were it not for the tremendous support and sacrifice of my wife, Suzanne, our sons, Parker and Con. My family has given me the opportunity and time to follow my passion, which is to serve this organization. I thank them for their grace, love, and unwavering encouragement. Who thought I was emotional? In hindsight, and I haven't gotten to my parents yet, in hindsight, I recognize that my life's path has also been a reflection of my parents' influence. William and Bettis Aldridge raised and educated 3 sons, instilling within each of us core values and a work ethic that have had a positive effect on our lives. As a teenager, I could not have known the impact that the long summer days I spent working with my father in an appliance warehouse would have on the rest of my life. Leaving for work at 4:30 every morning and making $2.80 an hour, pushing washer and dryers on a hand truck was not the dream of this kid from New Jersey. But it was an irreplaceable experience provided by parents who wanted to impart the importance of hard work. My father has always said that when you volunteer for something, you do your best and you give your all. I realized that when I add up the 11 years I volunteered in the military and 16 years I volunteered for the AAP, I spent more than half my life in service. So I owe a debt of gratitude to my parents for their example. I am the man I am today because of them. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Tough part's over, thank you. Just like me, every single decision that you have made and every single person who has had an impact on you has led us collectively to share this experience here today. We come from all walks of life, from all over the world, but our mission is the same: to help our patients chew and smile forever. As practitioners, researchers, and educators, we are arbiters of this fundamental human dignity, one that is lost after disease or trauma. Treating patients goes beyond our diagnostic and surgical acumen. We restore confidence in those who may have long hidden their smiles in instances of joy. In moments when delight should be unbridled, many of our patients have retreated behind a veil of self-consciousness. Periodontists peel back that veil. Considering the staggering prevalence of periodontal disease in this country and around the world, periodontists are also at the front lines of tackling an alarming public health issue. In its ongoing surveillance partnership with the Academy, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has found that 1 in every 2 Americans over the age of 30 has some form of periodontal disease. The latest data published earlier this year demonstrate a correlation between regions with the highest concentration of periodontitis and high incidence of heart disease and diabetes, systemic conditions often associated with periodontal disease. As we continue our work with the CDC and we learn more about those who are most affected by this condition, it is apparent that periodontists have been granted a responsibility. Yes, a responsibility that goes beyond saving teeth and placing dental implants when necessary. We are contributing to the systemic health and overall well-being of our patients. Such a contribution extends past our operatories and into the space of information and awareness, encouraging the public to prevent the onset of disease in the first place. Last month provided a unique opportunity to educate the nation on the value of caring for your gums. When the Associated Press reported that there had been no significant evidence of flossing's effectiveness in preventing gum disease, the Academy changed that message. We reminded consumers that flossing is essential to removing bacteria and debris from between the teeth. To us, the value of flossing has long been self-evident. We've also learned about the necessity of longitudinal research confirming what our day-to-day experience tells us to be true. Flossing and cleaning between the teeth is a key component of a daily oral hygiene routine. With placements in the New York Times, NBC Nightly News, The Today Show, National Public Radio, and on more than 100 front pages of newspapers across the United States and around the world, the Academy spun a potentially negative headline into an educational opportunity. We have since reached more than 2 billion people. That's 2 billion with a B, with our Academy's message. This is in addition to the 38 million we have reached this year through Love the Gums You're With, the Academy's award-winning consumer awareness campaign designed to put the periodontist at the center of gum health. Along with educating our patients and the public, the Academy continues to solidify its stronghold in the scientific arena of our specialty. Science is at the heart of what we do, and the AAP's commitment to shining the spotlight on recent innovations, whether through the monthly publication of the Journal of Periodontology, the release of clinical advances in periodontics every quarter, or the very much anticipated World Workshop on the classification of periodontal and peri-implant diseases slated for the fall of 2017. This is what continues to inspire thinkers, teachers, and clinicians as we set the future of periodontics and dentistry in motion. As the tide of science turns into an era of new possibilities, periodontics consistently seems to be on a cusp of a turning point. Think about those who attended the Sunstar Portside Symposium, which marks its 30th anniversary this year. Could they have known, for example, that this meeting in Kobe, Japan, would be a watershed moment in understanding the periosystemic link, eventually shifting the way we talk about how a host responds to periodontal infection and the implications of treating the infection itself can have on diabetes. Our time in San Diego provides a chance to examine and re-examine the concepts that could shift the paradigms of our capabilities. The underlying message of the Academy's scientific agenda makes one thing certain: this is no time to coast. As leaders in dentistry, we must hold fast to our commitment to the future. This means embracing change, staying curious, and being open to what's on the horizon for us and our patients. As such, many of you may know that I have long been a proponent of adding the word implant or implantology to the name of the Academy. Doing so allows our identity to reflect the breadth of our know-how as intraoral surgeons. 25 years ago, when I began my general practice residency program in the Army at Fort Jackson, I worked with all the specialties. At that time, periodontists were known as gum gardeners. Some of you may be familiar with that term. I never liked it. Today, periodontists are regarded as the world's leading experts and most skilled intraoral surgeons. Our training makes us the world's best intraoral surgeons, period. Consider what we do: curbing infection to save teeth and dental implants, managing soft tissue, regenerating gum and bone tissue, placing dental implants when necessary, performing guided surgeries, minimally invasive procedures, sinus augmentations, crown lengthenings, the list goes on. As periodontists, we are experts, we are tastemakers, and we are thought leaders. and we are responsible for letting the world know who we are. We must speak our names without any equivocation, continue to do the work with self-assurance, and stand unfalteringly in our competence, knowing that the future of our specialty is literally in our hands. We have to own it. This is one of the many ways that we can drive ourselves forward. In the spirit of forward movement, the Academy has spent much of 2016 working to refine our organization's focus, goals, and identity. With the guidance of the Task Force on Mission, Vision, and Branding, we have seen an overhaul in these areas, not the least of which has been the board's unanimous approval of a set of core values that will inform the Academy's strategic direction into the future. Every leader is telling a story about what he or she values. This quote makes me wonder about the story we tell about who we are. Not only do our core values tell our story, they also are the guideposts by which we maintain our integrity as an organization. It's not hard to make decisions once you know what your core values are. As the landscape of our specialty shifts at an unprecedented pace, our organization must remain unshakable in its core values. Support of our members, belief in evidence-based treatment, backing of innovative and ethical research, advocacy for the specialty, educating the public, and a commitment to developing positive collaborative relationships with professionals in dentistry and healthcare. We literally create our future by being clear about who we are, what we do, and where we want to be. Another way that we're creating our future is by educating the future. The Academy's educational outreach is making an impression on dental students at various stages of their academic and professional careers. Just a couple of days ago, we learned that the number of dental students who have applied to periodontics programs has nearly doubled from last year. This is an unprecedented increase. The bolstered interest in periodontics reflects the changing culture of our specialty, with its renewed appeal trickling down to dental programs across the country. The bottom line, the future of our specialty is bright. I am pleased to note that there are a number of residents and dental students joining us over the next few days. In addition to the annual meeting sessions designed particularly for students and new members, the Academy is poised to meet the needs of these early career professionals year-round. Success confers upon each of us an assignment to lift as we climb. By reaching back and embracing the bright and beautiful minds comprising periodontal residency programs, we are establishing a legacy that will outlast us all. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge those of you who are in the labs and lecture halls day in and day out, teaching, mentoring, and making a mark on the students who will soon carry our baton. I truly ask every single full or part-time educator in this room to stand for a well-deserved applause. Please stand. That's nearly 50% of the people in this room. Phenomenal, and thank you. Thank you for your commitment. The Academy will continue to have your back as you fight hard for your students and, in turn, the future of our specialty. The AAP Foundation, now in its 26th year, has a major stake in supporting the academic component of the Academy's mission, and by year's end, $5 million will have been awarded to periodontal students, faculty, deans, program directors, and department chairs around the country. In closing, I'd like to offer a personal applause of sorts in gratitude to those whose support has guided me personally and professionally, and those whose involvement has solidified our Academy's groundwork. These include individuals, Dr. Paul Rosen and Dr. Jean Salcetti, the co-chairs of the Continuing Education and Oversight Committee, the very group that developed the programmatic content of this meeting. After nearly 10 years, Dr. Salcetti will be stepping down from the helm of this group, and her leadership will be missed. Thank you, Dr. Salcetti, and thank you, Dr. Rosen. Please stand for a well-deserved applause. Well, we heard Vince up here before, so thank you, Dr. Vincent Iacono, for more than that lovely introduction, but for your kindness, your friendship, your mentorship. You are family. Thank you. Oi. Vince is Italian. Oi. Probably the people I've spent more time with than my family and personal friends at home are the Board of Trustees. Thank you. Thank you to the Board of Trustees for a very dynamic year, for prioritizing the Academy's scientific agenda, and for continuing to lead periodontics thoughtfully and, most importantly, selflessly. Thank you to the AAP staff for your professionalism and hard work. My heart goes out to all of you for your willingness to always go the extra mile. I'd also like to offer a special thanks to the Academy's Associate Executive Directors, Erin O'Donnell-Dotzler, Katie Goss, and Catherine Milsna. This dynamic team has stepped up to lead our organization this year without missing a beat. Thank you. To my staff and Dr. Eugenie Lee at Homedale Periodontics and Implant Dentistry. Thank you for holding down the fort when I tended to Academy business and for being a first-class team that our patients and community can trust. You are truly top-notch. Thank you for my mentors from New Jersey, where I started my career in organized periodontics 16 years ago. Not quite the Sopranos, but a great group of individuals, Drs. Barry Wagenberg, David Goldberg, Maxine Feinberg, and Bob Hirsch. I truly learned from the best. Once again, my love and thanks to Suzanne, Parker, and Connor for being the lights in my life and the center of my joy. As a periodontist, I am truly blessed to do work that I love with people I genuinely enjoy. There has been no greater blessing and privilege than to be your president this year. Thank you, American Academy of Periodontology, for the honor and privilege of serving you. God bless everybody. Thank you.